Adom TV na Nnawotwe ejumadi so megidi se wo ho ye nyame aye Adom wode na Nnawotwe foforo akọ ama enne aba abeto yen aseda ene yede ebema no na memenda bia ye tena se no Nnawotwe brese ya na Nnawotwe ejumadi ene yede ba ebesom wo na eyensem akoso omayimu ye yimu akase mienu ebi wo ho amiensa na yesen sinkonwa ede ho nkomo biem enne so eye da foforo eye memenda foforo na Nnawotwe ejumadi foforo ne bre ena so edin amegye so ene abena pokua wenie na ene anopa yi efiri sabre kosise no dubebo nkomo a yebedie no eye miensa yebehye ene akwanya abeda ho ese omayi bambo adwumakuo eba no prisons eba no fire service eba no eye immigration eba no police service ene military no a penyefo so mo efa emabun asem na wo maye adwuma nipa ekofa forms eko apply ye ne muade ebro 500,000 oswafo shafi semo bambo de ato yanim se enipa mpem numpe na ebenya kwanya omode ombewura service nim ye kase medicals ekoso nipa bebro empem oha na qualify a wo eye medicals no emu nkomodi aye bebre de bi ebisa ne se edie kra hine yedruye ye kwanya nipa 5,000 over 500,000 applications na ekoye na yesese wo twa bema no wanya ntwa opieto ye de ka wanzam ho enti se wo ma anya kwanya no a wosaban edi sika no san ma wom anase etisen eno nkomo e wo ho no ma yebedi no anopayin na afen so yahwe yen nkomo etosumbe no auditor general aye ehwehwemu aban dada na wo free so sika bi ode kwoto ho se ka wo ho no ma wo se aban no etua ene adwuma bi na wo so mo de sika bi ye sika no antumi anye sika no de ekọ nanso adwuma no ama so ehun sem bebre sika ya ebru billions of Ghana cedis na mpanyefo kyese oman no ahwere na asoye wo mo hwe oman sika sem so eso mo de eye amanebo no ama attorney general so emra kwanso no omisansem na obia emeyi ne ho ano ewo sika ne fam obeti auditor general report no so emu amanebo na de atoso miensa ye behwe eye kidney yade yesawa ye nei nipa beyese se wo hwe Ghana nyina ne yadodo ya nipa beso pepe 94 million na ewo kidney yade edie na ma yade no ekosoro edie na ekoso oman no enim eye yedidie eye yenronom yebedi mu nkomo a doctor fo besi nkonwa na omaboa ye ne adesua ene nkwade nya kidney empenyifo enya kidney enro yade ebebo mu akọ asante mantemu a yesi efe bibi mandara sukudai ye no eye concourse yesi cocktail ye de ma nkura no nyina wuwu ye de gu plastic take away pack ibi so anane nipa da sani enom ye bedi sankobo no nyina nopai ewo na Nnawotwe dwumadie so itime nko bebe mabedwafo etena se na fe nkomo no ye de ahyehye so edin amegye so ene abena pokua wenie me basisia meda sese uguso a ekame ho anopai yesanso ye live ewo asempa 94.7 etutie ye ewo honoma akwaba na Nnawotwe dwumadie na yahye ase no na ene asemkase edikan a yebedi mu nkomo eye omanyi bambo adwumakuo na empenyifo kyese akwanya beda wo ye wo so mo efa enipa ne bi eka ho esanseba no immigration fire police na eye de keka ho asrafo military eka ho bi na prisons wo mo dodo no wo so mo enya Adom wo se bi koka ho na adwuma na wo mo eye no ne wo mo dodo no de toto se temamufo no ho a na nka ye pepepe na mpanyifo bi ekwanya no nipa bebro empem ahanum na ekwakofa forms ebi mo afili ne ade ebi mo kwotro exams na kasa tro no ehun sem eba ye na eye bebre esanse for the first time ebre di kan na omo eye exams no online into obi so kwotena machine na chi o hyasia internet aye basa wantumi anya exams ni mpanwie na kyese ebre no so ye internet sem ebe ye challenge obi so odmo kwotena machine na chi okwotro sohwe no machine se onimu no eno so so na ho na no aklosi wanya kwanya anto asohwe no so nti nipa bebre na ye disqualified no sa washa na watwi mu omo akasa echese omo di ya they were so disappointed ese ekoba ne sa enso akwanya bi ani ho no se omo benya na mpreto so bi na ye second chance adi ho dwuma de beto adwa ne se enipa 105,000 empem oha ene akire enum na ekwakoye medicals na medicals ni mu no na mpanyifo kire se emu 5,000 empem numpe eno man ni betumi afa wom eso mo bekọ oman ye bambo dwuma kwa hodo ni nyina akosom na yetie yera mutaka mubarak ono yesoafo a ohwafi semu bambo ni sebi odi tudwa na watwi.
By the time the deadline for application was closed, and this is very important, there was a total of 506,618 applicants. Over 500,000 Ghanaians youth were urging to be able to join our security service. This is an excellent thing. People who want to come forward and be able to serve their country, which is a very good thing. But as all of us know, out of these over 500,000, there was over 130,000 applicants to the police alone. The police force we have is 49,000. Yet we had 130,000 young people wanting to join the service. With the Ghana Immigration Service, by the time we closed the portal, to our utmost shock, there were more applicants to the Ghana Immigration Service than even the Ghana Police. The total of over 180,000 young men wanted to join the Ghana Immigration Service. But the interesting thing is that today, the Ghana Immigration Service, the strength from the Comptroller General to the last officer at immigration stands as 18,300. And unfortunately, because of the space, the fiscal space, we could only have a space for 1,000. When you come to Ghana Fire Service, by the time the portal closed, there were 124,000 applicants. 124,000 applicants for Ghana National Fire Service. Meanwhile, the current National Fire Service, from the chief fire officer to the last officer, they are just about 17,000 plus. The Ghana Prison Service, when the portal closed, there were 71,000 applicants. The Ghana Prison Service, as we speak today, their strength is just a little over 14,000. In the case of the Ghana Prison Service, the space could only accommodate 500. So the total space we have to be able to recruit in this first phase, and my emphasis, first phase, I'm sorry, and all I'll say to our rank and file is that let's keep hope alive. Remember that when we were doing the police support, those assistants to the police, to the fire, to the immigration and others, not a single person went for an interview. And that was 25,000. That was taken through the youth employment agency. And I want to believe that they are largely the rank and file of our party. There are so many other opportunities that we are opening. But I want to believe that all of us are very conversant with our neighboring countries, without mentioning any specific country. You hear gunshot, and you see the military and the police are those in those countries who are taking the lead in running away from hearing gunshots. Why? They are not well prepared for the job. All of us want to get professional and very, competent. And I want to believe that there are many of such within the rank and file of the party. So I want to plead with the youth that, for example, if we had even decided, let's say, oh, this recruitment, we're going to give it to only NDC pooling agents. Let us assume that we are going to ignore all other Ghanaians and say that, look, we are here, we'll take only our party people, and we are going to take...
Apenya ote se okasano ye onabo Muntaka Mubarak ono ye soafo chefisem emu bambo na okyere no tino akwanya na da ho ne nyina no eye empim num enipa ekofa forms eye empim ahanum na eno na domkum e wo mrahye fie ba no bambo hu sema bedwako e wo fie hon ma de ono e wo so ye ranking member eye Reverend Tim Fojo e wono de koso ene kwan aban e fa so edi dwuma wo saa emabuyifa e wo bambo dwumanim no obroni beka so say Ponzi scheme aso ma hyeda no omanyene de ato ho sabe nipa dodo beka akofa forms na obi atua 220 Ghana wo multiply by 500,000 nipa dodo a na sika bum ni nyina no aban na fa wo mo chese kwan aban ni emabu na di no ankoye kra.
Without a doubt, the structure of this recruitment exercise is akin to a Ponzi scheme, criminally crafted to defraud over 500,000 500,000 unemployed innocent Ghanaian youth. Having widely made recruitment into the security services a major NDC campaign promise in 2024, over 506,000 Ghanaian youth responded to the government's call in 2025 and applied to join various security services under the Ministry of Interior, namely Ghana Police Service, Ghana Immigration Service, Ghana National Fire Service, and the Ghana Prison Service. These young men and women, full of hope and patriotism, were made to believe that they were being offered genuine opportunity to serve their country and secure a dignified livelihood. However, the Minister for Interior, in a press conference yesterday at this same venue, to the utter shock of the nation, indicated that only 5,000 applicants will be recruited from this enormous pool of applicants. This revelation has left hundreds of thousands of hopeful applicants devastated, disillusioned, and feeling exploited. The fundamental question that must be asked is this: if the government intended to recruit only 5,000 personnel, as the Minister for Interior disclosed yesterday, why should the government go ahead to overpromise and lure over 506,000 unsuspecting young people to go through this costly and emotionally exhausting process? It is most unconscionable. Even more misleading and exploitative is the decision by this government's politically motivated decision to increase recruitment age limits from 25 to 35 years. So as they were expanding the age limit from 25 in the previous state of school to 35, the signal to the whole Ghana is that now there's more space. So even additional 10-year-older people can apply. This government significantly expanded the applicant pool and heightened expectations among thousands of desperate but qualified young people seeking employment. Such a decision, ladies and gentlemen, was reckless, misguided, and intended to create the false impression of sufficient financial clearance to accommodate more applicants. We reiterate the cogent calls earlier made by the minority leader of the Minority Caucus, Honorable Osahin Alexander Kwamina Afenyomakin, and further call for the following urgent actions. Number one, and first, there must be an independent bipartisan probe into the entire centralized recruitment process for immediate and appropriate review before we continue. And number two, very, very importantly, responding to the plight of the 500,000 potential recruits who have been scammed, we demand the government must refund the application fees of 220 cedis per application form to all applicants who were disqualified through knocked out technology constraints, who were
Openya okasai eye Reverend Intim Fojo na enchemuni nyina no eye se okakoti se nipa 500,000 na omoto forms abansan form sika ma wom se wi wom a wom benya kwanya 5,000 ne beko na womfo bi sika ma no edanchen so aban mpanyifo hwe no monte abedweku a amanyosem mforefore no monye hwehwemu die ntie ma no basa sansasa online ne exams so chro ne ade na ba ye no ne nyina ka ho bi na ma bebre no atete ahye na nipa no so aban ne fa no so a nipa mo di wo applications no edroso ma bedwa fa ye krado e wo ha na ye ne yira Dr. Bernard Tutubuahin oye political marketer okọ University of Education Winneba eho na odini djuma sanso na Professor Titus Bayo ono no Lambusi constituency oye member of parliament oye medical doctor so na okọ University of Ghana Medical School oye lecturer ewo ho nti ene yebedi nkobo na menuabe ma George Krobia Asante oye deputy communications director Emma NPP amanyuku no yewra samona na pia ebe join yen e wo Zoom na ye nnadi nkomo ono no eye security analyst eba no bambo a omunim de pa na afi ya share recruitment adwuma fa bambo mo adwuma fa ekoso ene nkomo aba aban fom sika ma wom anase sika no ase ye bedi san nkomo no anopai mema mabedwa fodo akwaba Pacho boko de.
Yehu Adom yehu.
Ta winiba for now.
Winiba boko.
Ye there ready say.
Say krobia wa haidi.
Mate, with us say Professor Bayu, Mate.
Nyaba mejoso.
Bibi aboko.
Nyame Adom. Mencha etie for nso na menka se boko nso nya boko sa recruitment nsensemi.
Yeah.
Ato MPs nyina adwendwen.
Okay.
Okoye constituency sa. Mebu ni bebre o ma try a bi a disqualify wo na ade. Say ye free ya ni anapa na dwo enwumre ni nyina ye phone isu ani. But memfa akwanya nchia lambusefo nyina ene ye mpanyifo mo wo mamu nyina. I mean, my colleagues in some abeto boa.
Mate, where I say George Krobia Asante. Mache.
Yeah, right. Say.
No, I late to be do so careful too.
Meaning say.
It is saying.
Same way me catch you say.
It is saying.
I shall for sharing. In say me bantam. Me regular first comer. Me be ni see me type I was. My menchia I for na menchia wankasa mu na menchia wala nyo ne maboafo ni. Me gidi say bi ahoye na me nimsa no pay MPP for share free chichiri ni benche me constituency for Abrim constituency Akuasefo ene adofo bebre ehwe no pay na me nchia the incoming first vice national chairman na nabi they say di no nya commander bi o chairman na nabi
Mate
na me nchia appointment secretary so regional secretary ye minua Tony Oseaji ena Samuel Sakode the incoming regional youth organizer of Eastern region. And I know baby omobia no krobia no machi ekwanstron koso.
Mate, but I say Krobia Asante na oteneka ye be say enkomo na say na ye recruitment na me sha say o Professor Bayu ho. It's not they say omo nam ne ho apaso. Omo nam ne ho apaso na sembi so a omo chairman general mosquito ye ra Johnson Sedu Keti akoka no so no e wo recruitment semia ho no backlash no ba na eba se minim sa wote ya want ya na wo chese nipa 500,000 obi a munyina peso mokoye koye adwuma wo ye bambo adwuma konim no omunyina koguma akrofo ne wo hia omo be kwa akoche wo eno ni asemo kan na fo bi nti ase se die nti no be kan sa prof what the kan aka se munti yie
yeah
na applicant a ebaye 5,000 slots na mo 500,000 and over we bro 500,000 application na munyaye obi ebi mususu se na kese se mumma numbers no e draw so sa na ka ahode no wo sem beka se pe 5,000 ye nto ba bia 20,000 pe ana 10,000 pe unu sen
enya ba anka ye hu says ni padodo a ebe apply ni a ebi anka betimi afasa akwan I want say wo bie application mu a unnim nipa dodo a omo enije wo mu se omo be pese omo beba secondly ni e pese ye bibia e very transparent a be magana ni bia o pese oye adwuma mani man ekwan enti tama ye bie portal no obia anandwen say be sorry no na 500,000 people and be apply ena on say obie application o share normal labor rules bia untimi nka nchenko for say me bie adverting from ene ekosi Friday na Wednesday osimanya nipa do nti watu obetimi do akọ court because be ono aye ne mum wa aye say nke bia Thursday no be apply I na wa si no kwan nti say ye be reduce number at the point of application in the aid obia ntimi yenyi amanyo asem fiade obia ntimi nsusu say ade we aye no eni pa say bi mpemedu ana say and be apply and then the first problem second identity nipa do sa apply nya a national security concern reflected the extent of unemployment ayewo o man and underemployment
ehona nanka me pa bisa say wo say man susu say nipa do sa ba mo aso munim say unemployment rate was so adwuma ni ho mo de campaign munim
yes
nti no ukaso wan susu amenti ase
unemployment rate was so no they be acquiring in different venues for comfort to get jobs but untimi hu nipa dodo a ebia ompese me say ukase me nko soja adwuma ni ho kran kamenko otimase obi wo ho se bi adwuma keke no openti no so pe okosoja by the no training 1 week ahia na beto no ho no obedwan ebinumo ko training ya ntimi survive and then mass body selection medicals na dinina ebi wu training ho enti no edwuma ni ho no e ka ho na mankofo bebre pese omoko and we have to find a way to sift out omo pese omo ye edwuma nankasa omo wa ho de obetima yes edwuma we and ebinom so ho omo we edwuma deda na emom edwuma omo wo no ebia omo mpe meminim nkofo a teacher for no masa apply obi a nurse wasa apply obi ye edwuma foforo on pesa edwuma no opese okọ bambo edwuma no mu enti eno nyina ma numbers no ebebro yeso ya ndan susu say number say nebe nyenim say nipa be apply there bebre but say 500,000 there no obi ansusu ne sa enti yanya bibi say no bigidi say e was say etna apon no ho ne adwen ho ne hwese den ne mani base ene den ne betimi aye mate unfortunately my colleague our parliament Reverend Tim Fojo say a scam. That's a very harsh way to describe a genuine intent to give the youth of Ghana opportunity say omombeso momomai enye scam Ghana bebun bi o tie mi bia hu say enye scam. The attempt is that you say more kwan na obeso momai. The only challenge is ni pana omo apply a dose ndodo bibi sa to ye no then I was say ye found betimi aka say MPP say NDC say na nye ne pe na we yasi fit obie chance nkofo mra recruitment bebre MPP mreso me kai say me ba mo program so na ye ka say backlog of nkofo mo apply several years o mo ntimi form no enu nti subsequent recruitment o mo bie portal biom they were trying to clear that backlog. That showed that was evidence say nipa bebre apply more than nkofo on betimi handle. And the question I also be say I want to say should we process nkofo we nyina and give them priority ebia nipa or try away nya no next be recruitment afi we dey no ebia maye nton forms biom yen hwe omo amoto de na omo anya no yen fa ebi wo ho ana den e was say nyina as oman yetina se na adwen. Second, this teaming youth omo wa hoden omo pe adwuma ya omo nya bebi nhye no, what kind of conversation can we have? No bit na ho no adwen no say yen fa 24-hour economy bra na dey aye asresem so say 133 1say but what solution ene wo ne famboa nkofo bebre ya omo pe adwuma omo nye nti ena ne national chairman kai ne there sometimes ukokasa na oka sem odi yase onim ye national chairman so do kasa odi yase sem kwa na nkofo afa na asem oka say
any braba wo
any braba
disqualify obi die gusu da pendi ohun ya disqualified nti any braba nti odi we di agora say obi ase oda from near sign bonfu
enye ne sa kra sometimes no opese oma on say Ghana sometimes o man ye share nipa na adwen obi aye say o say otuma temperature no cool it down sometimes o ko kasa kra o ma bibia e friend icebreaker o be kan asem no obi asre ne ato aso ne kasa no no nto obi di agro say o fa nipa 500,000 akronfo no wo hia o be chi o ma eno no nche say on far asem we serious general afa the way serious party is taking it very seriously because we know the security implications of adia AC and the hopes of these young people that are being dashed obi wo ho na dadwi nyina ne say obehye atade a cheso oye adwuma wa immigration obi edwin soldier there obi edwin police there. Why should we deny people the opportunity to serve? Me did say one thing systemic solution back where they ba sa compulsory national service here say omunye some bit of military nkofo form no mu say that tia during the national service the next time be important nkofo be dwin 7% me kwa na me pese me kwa ebi no ho a omunko mu da omu say that tia into omunya pese omu try but mesre me nuanom say let's think of the nation at this point a national crisis na atoye calls for refund. I'm wondering what mechanism I do be refund.
But so omo ye wo bank.
Maybe sasem. Then what are the principles? So that is one call. It is not to be dismissed. It is something I was say tenacity.
Because they have the data.
They have the data. It is not to be dismissed. I was say yes. Should we offer everybody who didn't make it a refund? Or should we rather give them another opportunity in the second round of the recruitment because we first round pay.
We are far from bia because it be more ebi mo call ya e ko check checks no they were disqualified.
Yes.
Ebi to omo abaya bedru so omo be exams.
Good.
At which level na wo consider
exactly.
next or first?
And only na me bisa obi kra nipa omo qualify even for medicals ni omo nya na be form. Enti o refund dia ma omo a ye disqualify am at body selection and now certificates at that level no be refund. Omo pass aptitude test and also refund. And now omo pass medicals but yentimi amfa omo and now be ebi omo de no on refund because for all intent of people omo qualify. It is something to be discussed. Men kase enye kra but asem sia sometimes obi a kasa gidi but say the tenants in the dream what way to go around it. But I am one say enkofo a omo aye the same thing omo am refund she and then omo bisa for refund. MPP time enkofo ko ade obi a bebre anya ya ante refund nsem bia and na dey mo for refund ye buy kwa ya take application fee ni so and so hwe ne AC ye say etua onyanko ho a etua dua ho wo position e de utimi kasa because there will not be solve problem no but once wo ye dey to me na amount you have to sit and think say be refund and one year refund man obi a or at what level. We began by cushioning them by reducing it. Intimimijidi say it is a call in the right direction, but needs to be thought through. Ni international, ni entwin kwanya. Yebetimi amfaswa. Bibi say no, emfa confusion biya emba. And it biya maybe some people who said they do not qualify at all, but those who have the chance of realistically coming back, no, if you are letting them refund and come and start the whole process again, we can retain this. Not next way no. Yedomo. I try after.
Because say ni pay go che say the 105,000 ni put na air can sema.
Yeah.
5,000 na e wachi na ye befa.
Good.
100,000 na beka wachi.
Yes.
E be take mu fee ahe na mo say the next phase recruitment e be ba no bia omo ne be consider. Nipa 100,000.
Good.
E be take mu fee ahe san matumi absorb mu nyina.
So we have alternatives. And a minister can you. Okay, I say you shall no. We took the lesser cadre of security services, community protection officers, community safety officers, paramedics. We took about 25,000 at that level. Look, some of those people, proper disaggregation. Some can be pulled into something else. We can eventually migrate them into these security services. The main one, but the physical space, would be to anyhow. But I'm just saying, say, refund, we have to think through it.
Mate.
Aha, say enye.
Almost I would describe the cost say a Ponzi scheme.
And that be crack. A Ponzi scheme, and no more Ponzi masters because almost chassis. What na make say NDC, ye born ya and say we are carrying the people of Ghana along. Be and ye kind of thinking mo be a home. Bisa wo mo say 8 years recruitment mo on my figures. Nipa hina apply. Na nipa hina offer. That ben o ma ba be catch Ghana for. Omo kan che NDC by under our leader His Excellency John Dramani Mahama believe in honesty. Your court na de na see ya be kan credential for ni atu ye ni me man for ye ne den. Ye see betu ya say koko ye ade no ye koton odwa so no say na aba o.
Okay.
Ni be kan credential. So our problem ene omode person of the panel share is just because we've been honest. Nka montanka be ka say 500,000 apply. Me nyanka wonim. Nka ne ye bo figures. Omotan nipa na ye. But we need people to know what the real state of affairs are. Okay. And we shouldn't be punished for that.
May I say, Krabia, we are Ponzi masters.
Many other. May I say, my main carry 1 minute before I'm burying. So MPP are open online registration portal. Last year and a year press conference, General Secretary Nkasabe outlining the various modalities side the online registration. Now finally, mention Yami by less. And some other incoming communications officer also was showing chair was so why fan of paper. Now, unless I mean, yes, what you so. The question say, meet here honorable no. Now, mean who how fast in one breath on person assembly by politics. In another breath, or introduce a political angle of it. We you know, then he is seeking to neutralize it. But whether upe the question me woman say on my way, you observe the economy be that my take it or leave it. You can choose to, belittle or belabor the point. But the fact of the matter, and they say, under this government, It appears to be beyond the Omasabe can be an omunti. Yawa and one way recruitment, work. Mofra in the free more because of bad arrangement, bad organization. The same recruitment and honorable say honorable Reverend in team for you say a Ponzi scheme, a scam and casa, where it is going to be one of the biggest scam in the country. How? And I'm surprised honorable woman and looking say as if say the security services no munim space per the current architecture, the vacancies there is over 30,000. They can recruit more Ghanaian youth. Now when you say we need space, born to our campaign. Oba be catch the emnanti ene maba one say oba say omu nyina kwa security services mu. O promise o functional executives o constituency chairman say omoma say mo ye recruitment bi they will be the first point of priority. You told them this to the extent that you even push for an extension of the age limit from 25 to 35. What were you doing?
35 near specialized applications.
But 35. Specialized in the campaign.
Because you know we senior high now.
So I'm taking it from the lowest point to the highest point. Oh, qualifying. But the point is that all of this is to buttress a point. Say, you knew the situation. And you're the catch the moon. Because of and someone more can say ranting him about one argument. Now, save you. Wouldn't say we space our war over 5,000 pay. Now I got ton forms are made 506,000. One one with about 110 million Ghana cedis.
Then now we say nipa do say na be forms na.
Now we dey. That the man forecast. Any projections. Huh? You project, sometimes there will be margin of error. But look at the gap. Over 500, you see, as a recruitment and Kasa, and I say, and your police service, and your security services in Kwang, even universities. Go to the various universities. Legon Law School. Nipa be 5,000 bet me apply, and 2,000 be apply. Or maybe as number for Nipa be. And every stage of it, you have to pay money. If you 1,000, to be no much you 2,000, near Nipa be 200. 200 ekrano ni ebeba nipa na nkasa woni 100 yaka gina protocol yaka say ono abo kasa omo achiro 5,000 ye be kom deep no na omo na acha omo ankasa omo na the true Ghanaian now no qualify no what's the transparency wo te ya no woni omo pass no omo pass. So what is the transparency in this? What ya no I now o kasa MPP time before so be recruitment no Parliament, and I tell it is in the budget. So this year, recruitment space saying, oh, this is the number of people I target to see a befa. This is not the first time Muntaka and answer Interior Minister Biba Bekatre and said this is the number of people that applied. Honorable, that statement is untrue. That is the practice. Conventionally, that is the practice. NDC must admit, say, near Oma Yeno, almost coming Ghana for Nantiani Mabawa. One, first of all, one I'm going to share my friend in crying. Say, Omumedi Mochi. Na moba mo adwuma ye. Moba ye no sebi yeso anya bibia ma wasia. Anene yenye den ye bone kro. Me ase me ba na me nya ma adwen say me dey be politics. But the way honorable was seeking to neutralize it, and this is not and Ubusa say omo national chairman. Such a sensitive issue. Anya bibia dey didi agro honorable. Sebi say okọ obi fie na sebi ne ba bi ato. Ana wo situation bi mu over. Now, we situation now we are talking about such a national important issue. Now, the national chairman of a party in government, realizes the number of police for now recruit for now apply applicants no, and the number of akron for pen as I said, you only 500,000 in the police. I for the akron for such a reckless statement by a whole national chairman of a party in government. And you want us to consider, I say, Chama say Dinketia, Sebi, he's such a funny character, and we should sweep this under the carpet. That cannot be accepted. It is about time NDC should understand that governance is a serious business. As a diagro. As of the diagro, I cannot see any seriousness in this government. Such an important national exercise. And coming from the background, say, same recruitment, bad publicity. Because of your recklessness, and then so having that in mind, what do you have to do? I said your UAB should be spot on. I can understand, say you may not be able to get it so accurate, But then look at the gap. Over 506,000 people. What for 5,000? Meanwhile, you have a space to accommodate about 30,000 people. That AI text norm here, it was intended just to disqualify a good number of people. Before mobile started recruitment, I'm referring by your own word. I am not ready to discuss MPP. MPP is not in government.
But I am not discussing MPP. Experience because during time no, mobile recruitment is a mobile funny part. Na money mama before that. But most of the bekasa na for some call.
Time na system nya kagana for na bekasa. So if you did not witness any such instances, then it means that things were done right. That's my response to you. Because any system that collapse now, and you're say no, scam abamuno. Ghanaian youth are talking. The people that are talking, most of them are NDC4. Go to the blue app, no, called the new media, and it's not going Omokasa. These are MPP youth. These are NDC youth. The vast majority of them are NDC4. Why do you think they're almost bastardizing their own government? Because they feel that the people have disappointed them. The level of incompetence, is mind-blowing. And Omoba office, catch them. A dear pan Omodo Monsaka Omanyane right. A dear pan Omodo Monsaka Omanyane right. So at the end of the day, Ghana for minority lead, and I want to associate myself with the decision by the minority caucus. Say, Omon Peneto Penenoa, they should refund the money. Now, how are they going to refund the money? And a database in the Doctor, database in you. And you gave a good response to that. What was the means of the 2 years scan? In your banking process. It's the same means of the GC can. So we are pressing on this NDC government. That's what we said. More than BB Amagana. What we never catch on 24-hour economy. Some hosts, what the best say the part of the Bay, they were my and that's our 24-hour economy anyway. 24-hour economy. Look at the level of unemployment in this country.
Okay.
So when we are discussing matters like this, nobody should attempt to even trivialize it. Because we are talking about bread and butter issue. A lot of these young people, their aspirations has been dashed. Now, some people say, how will be struggling to raise that amount of money to even buy the forms in the first place. And one make over 110 million from this innocent, unsuspecting Ghanaian youth. Instead of you, your whole national chairman of that party is declaring them. And Honorable is here defending that. Honorable, your constituency people have issues with you.
Okay.
Trust me, and this issue, whether they like it or not, they cannot neutralize it. And the MPP, if things were handled so badly, and the people of this country would have spoken about it.
But they spoke.
Krobia, Medacity, say, you share.
We're happy with you, still be in power.
But say, you share from 2020, 2021, 2022. Recruitment, Abino Ebieto, say Ghana Phobinum, Kofa forms. Now, into me, Emra Security Services.
Is also getting.
So share 2020 figures I will probably I don't want
let's be progressive.
What share 2020 and nipa apply
this is balanced
40,000 to 50,000 and apply 2021 70,000 to 80,000 and no more apply 2022 and nipa over 80,000 plus and no more apply. It is also 3 processes a course so 3 years no. A nipa omo do e best 190,000 equal 210,000 and apply abanda da no etumi for 12,000 pay out of 210,000
and okay
out of me pacho mama out of 210,000 na e apply e ko tro ye e so omo person mo ba police omo person mo ba military omo person mo ko prisons omo person mo ko immigration prisons and a fire a nipa 210,000 no 3 years, almost to be for 12,000. And they ain't a nipa na catch, no, some for 12,000 for 210,000 and your calculation. No, now over 190,000 kayon. More refund this economy, mana. More refund this economy,
Messi.
More refund.
I was some question. I was on our question.
More refund this.
Is a question for me to answer for you. It's a question for me to answer.
Probably I mean no kasa. More refund this economy.
They say Even this information, I don't even know the source of this information.
Well, figures na family.
I don't know, but you gave us a topic, and the topic you gave us is that you be discussing over 506,000 people.
But you know recruitment.
I mean, I'm setting editorial policy. Me your guest, you gave me a topic. So I say, yeah, Baba be discussing recruitment. Also, right from maybe 2010 to 2026, I would have prepared myself adequately enough to answer that question. Now, the topic for discussion, and they said, NDC for Adom forms secretary over 110 million, and Kuala 506,000 I applied, almost for 5,000 pay. It's almost coming Ghana for no discussion, you know. So I say on another day,
no,
say discussion on.
Mona mo ya manyofo menya manyoni doctor onya
na we referee
enti de me pese be hunu ni say ade bi akoso ene na mo hunu say aban ba gi nipa dodo sika ono nso nim the number pese of form adwumam enhyase ne ene yen kasa ento aso enti mo refund sika no during mo period and am refund Krobia yima no na yen ko refund
no, I don't have that information but okay, make sure say NDC power and the judge so no that's the conversation today. NDC a power. Okay, yes, our conversation next week. I can prepare whether you're refining.
Dr. I can prepare. Ni nyina your recruitment. Ni nyina your Ghana for na 8 years sika. Wadaroma ansan me ba doko no me kɔ yɛ rasamo na napia ho na me nyini view o Zoom. Same Wadaroma me mo ache. Na na pato mute na yen kasa wai. Nanapia. Okay. Me yente wonka on mute said e okasa ye bete Wadaroma. All right. Mamene Dr. Bernardin Twaso Nanapia ba na afia ko doc. Recruitment in semi over 500,000. Aban nim say akwanyo why so be fa nipa 5,000.
Yo, amechia bikrom asante atumakutia say amantona man. Asante achem nof phone na mechia omo mechia University of Education Miniba UTAG members and other staff omo University of Education Miniba na mamenchia prof na menchia minia krobia I say no kreno de ebako manager mra prof ka say we enya man yourself so enya man yourself kire say eye Ghana fo na obo ho akire wo mo eye o man Ghana na ye de no ahugya so enti say amanyosem bi wo mu a eye adwenkire
Okay.
Se wo hwe ade asie no a media ma to din say job rejection
Mate impacho doc manisi job rejection ho me basisi Nanapia machien
Bana me da se me je so me ma me nuanom nyina so achia no pai
nyina ye je so na me gide se wadi nkomo na chi bia so far wo hanom enipa 506,000 apply aban nim se wo fa 5,000 eno na ho odin ebetumi baby a wote ene said ye recruitment ho nsɛmte wo man yi mu ho ne sɛn
me da se bebre na ya medi nkan aka ne se ye pese yesesa nneoma mu a first and foremost yemfrasie in the right direction and I say yemfrasie ne papa mu na yefrasie ne boni mu a ebekwa ko wie ne boni mu yefrasie ne boni mu in a sense say all the security institutions now one police, immigration, fire service, prison service and then the African interior ministry hono. Amunyina were administrative heads and amunyina were management board. Minim kra no medi police paint minim say police management board. Na police management board no na yet the body mandatory also share day-to-day police activities in so including policy implementations. interior minister no just a supervisory body because ojina aban no anan oni police da. So security management cry a theory but any practical. The same applies to fire, migration, and any akeka ho nyina. Enti ubedi juma and such in the first place uma amanyo no edi nkan ewo mu. Enye NDC nko and enye MPP nko. I am talking as a Ghanaian and as a professional expert in how to manage security and implementation of security policies. Adenti empo na yebeye recruitment na yemfirase na yekase a free 1921 ye create Ghana Police Service. Administration no wo specific procedure and protocol mo so defend nipa. One of the areas say critical pa ye age limit. Isan say omo wo enisuadi hunu sononko bi ma obi a se okokodi police. Na it's expected say emfie bi so a ese say okọ retirement. Na emomfie dodo obi ene ese odi tenadwuma. Na babunu de okọ a enka from 18 years up to 25. That means obi okuta wasi ana SSC. Na nka obi okuta degree de ense say obro 30 years. Yet hana mete bi say o amanyofo ni bi pese ye increase age no man ko 35 years. Say MPP na ye yo, say NDC na ye yo. And no cramp in the first place na ye wrong. Ama police management na so system no so no as you have tampered with. Intino enema bi a wo firi ase aye mpo no. But starting on the wrong footage. And the possibility say obe end on the wrong footage no so very high. Yemfa no to ho. Asema maybe say say why ne pushi yewura interior minister man no bene sebi Ghana mabunu kasaye. Na directorate are responsible for public relations ewa Ghana Police Service muno. Omo dwuma ne say. Immigration omo directorate wo ho. Prisons, fire service, they all have it. And as part of our management and the organogram, no, these are people responsible for communication as far as the security systems, recruitment or employment are concerned. And from my expert point of opinion, no, I no cry nye minister ne juma die ne party be pushy no amana be jina bedwem. No abeki kansem edi information bi anka posifo no ankasampo and security agencies no would have come clear in a professional way to handle it and create such a pandemonium in the public. So it's worrying, sir Abanisa, very, very worrying. Na Abani say no, enye local news unko, international news nyina pikibi. Say we are not doing things right. Say MPP 4 year bill, NDC 4 year bill, Ghanaian people want to see efficient institutions, effective implementation and management as far as the security is concerned. And their cost no, me feel say, in my candid opinion, omo ekotrase ewo dan mu a me gidi ese meetings ahodo bebrebe koso. Indeed, recruitment aban bia ni wa ba what shortlist potential applicants and answer applicants what my for nyina. Ebin see that. Me kodi police 2004. At the time na ye manu akra no were in the queue. Patasi depo. Omo ye dru baby no. Omo so mo amaka no monko adetwe a ye be frem na maba. Omo nya number omo hwehwe quote anti. Omo ama anto aso bio. Enti the American say omo wo mo system say ye be enhance no ye allow the institution to enhance their processes and procedures and they will get it right. Say open nipa 10,000 plus or minus over build say minya 15,000 at least margin of error of 5 make me atwen free the reserve 5,000 num enti say ameye too political na be policy administrative system ye jaima security institution no nobody will want to question then a positive for no and I say omo fa kra metudwa and omo ba be ka ho asem so a omo be ka no in a way and created too much noise our system no because first and foremost omo be use the professional system and standard the need to know factor some information isn't necessary ehumpo here say as a security aye fan crofo no you divulge all information to the public and no so nti me concern ne say mass system no ankasa and break din ho
na me te dia wo kana say is it the case say interior minister ankasa be ye announcement eto di me ehunu say nipa dodo sei ene ba ye dodo sei ene ye betumi afa ehɔ na enfomso no wa na asesen.
First and foremost, from Sobako ye and say, and you are known as a obejinane a domnudin como. Sample Interior Ministry want to speak at. It's an organization that has departmental heads.
Okay.
And it's only public, relations department, which I doubt because they keep releasing, press release in the Minister there, anka sabio subordinate abeka bibi na wa goofy no. Na wo ba be crackra achire. Enti nya wo na say do anim kra ebedis most importantly say security managerial system and strategies. Enti you apply certain protocols in line of communication and also implementation of your policies. There's nothing wrong say obe pese public ni be a course or not be a course. But there's everything wrong to want to communicate and tell everything into detail or into two.
Okay, it's figures now the two abontin and necessary what the two na.
In my candid opinion, figures now the two abontin. As a Misane said, did he discuss with even the Inspector General of Police, the Comptroller of Immigration, the Director General Ghana Prisons, and now say fire service or no discuss who pushed him to come and speak because when the administrative system be affected science institution pressure be ko almost party for be attack binom ne it form part of the protocol in my opinion and the responsibility to communicate it out there from 19 so I 5 recruits eco police mono said there now will be say minimum that say what is say Henry Cote akogina baby can say what is say previous NDC administration interior minister ejina baby can say and now say you see we should be careful how we communicate as heads of department holding certain sensitive information and sensitive positions.
Okay.
That is my respective opinion and my expert understanding say be a security making sure say you leave it to the security agencies.
Okay.
Omuankasa ebeba public say here if it becomes necessary the police administration very nice way to communicate with the applicants. Nempo asema oketwa so which I find it so bizarre say one way backlog no ebre on befa bia no akwa say they will pick from them. It doesn't work like that. And yet sana system no ye adwuma because many about me no can say 6 months time every ne me copy adwuma baby a na say me ya pomuden hwehwemu a enne me pomuden sanya me gina biatie no 6 months time ebesesa and there's so many things and so as security system emu no so no esese ujama omo an omo handle.
Okay.
And for me I respect the fact that he wanted to be transparent, he wanted to talk, but Akwaye said, na amount for effort, so no. He came out under some sort of pressure and to have to communicate because the party for any amount for be complaining.
Okay.
That was very wrong in the first place. And TMS going forward, and so about public, onjai emma the responsible institutions in Ankasa to handle it. Now, Ebia, cabinet should review the process because I don't believe, say, the 5,000 is the only vacancy that is left for the 4 institutions so bold, But the main thing is that ohia clearance from Ministry of Finance.
Okay.
Ministry of Finance said, my budget, a bit me for only 5,000. I'll be chairman this 4 or 5 institutions for this year. And he is tied with or by the clearance from the Ministry of Finance. But Obekwe Jumanumuno, the vacancy there, many of them, a lot of police people go on retirement. In fact, every blessed day, and free police, free fire, migration, prisons, and omoaka. So until Nina no can say, oye niemano respectively jama one more, and Kasan Komodie Ninahano, Omone ni bedi na Omoan Kasa. Ebe Sansan correct diplomatically and on the need to know basis and some information be about public. That is how we manage security issues.
In 30 seconds, I was a binary fundy sikana and I was Sandy or Madiama or more money. 30 seconds.
For me, I mean subscribe to that idea, but acquire political, talk. NDC for and come back, NPP so back. But I think professionally, in my candid opinion, it doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that. Sabani decided to be refunded. Let's leave it to the discretion of the minister and the cabinet.
Okay.
Because me feel say mpembe brainy EBSC institutions are doing. Name momnia me person messages say that approach of yema omuntua forms ne kano.
Okay. But I say, you're a someone na appear a security analyst. And Edin Kobono. My Dr. Bernard to Buain ho na okase a job rejection. Brofono sombubu mame adding to that job rejection. Yapo.
Say wako so pedumana yamfa yapo.
So one qualify, no just say yapo.
Yapo no.
Sir.
Say me nifi kasa na ema. So but wa hu fasuo. Wa hu fasuo. Ene dwumadi a wukudie no enhia no. So ahu ebobra. Enti ye ji utuma enye yie. So ahu. Enti ye yi wato nchen. Sana mpese mekire. Enti se o qualify ni amfa na eni se on qualify ni amfa no ya yi wato nchen anesa so enie de ma me kansa na ye se emi se wo fa security service no a de di kan no ena no a me fa ne se soja die nka ho no so ahu any pair of forms, let me say, about 506,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So what the soldier for any become who naturally say, what 560,000. So, as 560,000. So we should more a moo and pem encono 9,000. And a yaji womutu. So, a munch ceremony say. So we find the power habia you move back. Abraham
Atiasi.
Okay. And then the man no ayo how. So a chere say o mana yetimu no adwuma epe edin na ubewie school ene say wo pese o da chinsi wiye na wode wabodi nkrata ekopadwuma na unya bie eno so eyo hawo Nti se prof can say eni se ye na manyo sema mene ne yadwene so okay se wo hwe abna de man sa ye hu pa ye se so wo hwe breakdown na nchichemu no a migration omo application no munya na is over 180,000 omo fa mu 1,000 no
more than the entire immigration force.
So over Ghana Police Service over 130,000 actually say apem 130,000
empem ohane adiasa
empem ohane adiasa
twi madam anim
eda ye fa emu 3,000 empem yensa hwedudu a yi omutu nchenyo empem ohane aduonu nso
okay
ene yi omutu nchen statistics na ehu akuntabu ne wo mu no ehu pa
nti die na yebetumi aye asoma no
eho na meba abna na prof kan bibi say anka no munim say na me pese prof be kan say na wo munim say
ni pa be do so sa
o say waje ama party no so waje e de ama party no but ni senka okosa tangent no
adentia
say enye asiedu nketia ene NDC for
recruitment
and a recruitment
No, the government is ultimately responsible.
no but the point is that like
It's a government policy.
Yeah, I understand, but the policy is different from the implementation.
No problem. So you express your opinion.
Okay. So, probably now can make sure you say security agencies, you know. Now, omo eni say eni pan bedosun sa. Okay. Now, me ne na enipa waka na na friend asante apia me ne ya adwene kire say me hu the whole exercise as an administrative problem. The whole administrative problem. Wonim say ubetimi afa enipa MPmu no ena wo ton forms no e wo net so internet so 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 we print form na kura na 25,000 akos ra na bia times 2 10,000 kire say obi e call body selection necessary nipa no ne ho enye dia said ye tibia beka nipa be mienu no ana miensa no obenya baako pacho what matiase enti nanka menka se omo emma no pepepe as 5,000 but at least we are no 50 to 100% you know more and more nka ye dan say ube biemu bebre sa we say sa problem na ba ya military recruitment no enkrofo ekoye o how
okay
edi oyo ne ebre abusuafo so what you say okay enti anka mefa ne say omo ye nhyehyɛ no in such a way say this time crowd there na internet so it will betimi attract because I think say one of my former students ekoye the height oboshe we man rejecting
Yeah.
okay think kadema be betimi reject we want to be qualified to the next stage.
In fact, a lot of people were rejected.
So what you say enti nka edru the number of applicants are more penal. Any statistics na abano. Abu say nipa dudu say na aba. Na omu nyina no efa omu body selection omu certificates and na say for a qualify no na kwa ende no ba.
To be oba bia rejection.
And the unya kwankra no awrem.
Okay.
Ni aba be reject. So aho. Aha. Etinka no ebeboa emma sa
no exams ho no mo feel you. Online exams no mo de by no one disqualification no.
But but why
not.
What's there abena ade ba kunsu nie. Oman ya yetimu yi internet no say na develop na kwa.
Enti uti asante achima kutiasia uti anye ye woso ba asante achima gogo so no aba be enta honorable constituency where say Lambusi. What is the strength of internet connectivity there?
It's a big challenge.
It's a big challenge
across the country.
But nipa that to form na view. But a kwan obefa so de be kwa kwatena se actual exams no. Internet ne man kwan obey.
So
eti I feel say the whole thing administrative issues.
Okay.
Eti abena ye kwa animu no so ho. No na bo kan bi say abaya ye hihye bi. So the kanka compulsory national service with the security agencies.
Yes.
Very good idea. I support it because South Korea etimi aye edimu ama wo mo. So what you say? It will be what South Korea be our military training. And the discipline ba. So what you say? Apart from say the discipline ne ba no. E sanso eboa say that bia no say atoyere nchem okun bi esi o manimu a enkrofo wo skills are metimi.
So no for one si mama.
Hey, abran say we try me so.
Oh, dog, what can I say?
So abran me no baby yawo.
Hey, I say because I was see you war topic we so but not go dey maintain.
Eti enka no ye. All right. Baby a me ne abanya adwene ye say o ka say one more about 150,000 qualifier na ntimi amfa wo. 105 yes, 105,000. Sankrofo no. Odom begu pool mu na oya akwa yi bi
Dangerous.
I know they dangerous because minimum say afia me so mo for around 24 years. So but we be the 23 with some few months. Next year send we twem.
Even their health issues.
So I don't dey back but next year no we twem. It will kwa enye ye chese ni fi no abro so. Number 2 na pomuden. So
so my extend here could do 30 years.
Yeah, so
from 18 to 30.
I don't know probably I don't know about me ABA. No, because engrophobia apply for even the officers selection with 27 years and foul.
Okay.
So what you say? It based on that, Namde Kasa.
Okay.
It you know, say ubi age economy and as well the borderline. Not this year qualify next year. Benya sure say obe qualify because ebe broso. So enti eba ne say na no so akwakoye how. Ebi be ufre na wunya no. Eno so be ndai. So ni nyina ye say the dynamics of enen no will never be the dynamics of tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Enti no ebe ye say the process may start but I feel say sa nipa we mu no omo wo normal beer, we can put it to good use. And then I'm sure say assessor abano edwene. Na honorable Prof Ekase. Obi ohwa adwuma onya nyenti. Ena why se chenchena bekwa kodi soja, bekwa kodi police. So
hey man, they almost be new.
But I was say abani timi dwene no mo dwene yiye. So because you see baby a yedru no enye se sebim preduasa before so beba be di prof no papa you abro before so be ja professor no
yeah
publications in the conferences awako no so enye easy man no sa no de te ho ena minim se ekwan of aso de be di MP eno so na enye ahonko so enti se bia mango abere no afa ba na de awo no ate awudi so but say we a politician I feel that you should be that person you think you know beyond abstract beyond the ordinary person on the street unemployment issue ni face as a country so what you say but say no be can be say university say what Ghana ha no ase yade kire nye enti ye nkola no be pie no profit ha he knows
okay
all right now Uber University of Education winiba ye kire marketing and entrepreneurship Yawo entrepreneurship hub ewo ho. Ebi wo University of Ghana Business School. Ebi wo UCC. Ebi wo KNUST. Entrepreneurship hubs. So enkwala ebetimi akọ do mo akọ attach to learn entrepreneurship. Wo beba no ukura adwuma. Beyond that, aban betimi as support some of these institutions. So now this issue about Nkukon Kitinkiti project, no. Look, resource us. Now, efa sankrofobia ya reject womu for mu bra. Give them the bit me nyano na meka. Okay. Nyano na meka. Nkukon dey say nyano. The ba ya kra your agric session or University of Ghana agric session. Okay. All right. So we dem crofo call so munkosua Nkukon Kitinkiti, munkosua poultry farming. They can do it. Oh, okay. All right. But what I'm saying here say when you bring such people to the entrepreneurship hub for 6 months, 1 year, training in a specific job skill sets. So we can train these people. Time and Quebec spend with military training. Or the back entrepreneurship hub, some skill. Yeah. Na your resources ni pano no kweni kurumwa. Se banchi fu kra no woko ya. Obeye edim faso dia bregana. All right. Now, say agriculture enye here for adwuma bi mu. There. Someone say president can say or about say 5,000 hectares of cuckoo. Yeah. Okay. Enkrofo bi nso wo ho a. Wo mo ahyeda edu musika. Business people edu musika kwa hye agriculture. Adwuma omunye sika frim your friends e brana champon yeah so eti say you know konobo akando so farmer there a lot of them are why is it that even the politicians now okrobia aka hu bia na oka hu farmer na okay adentina say your friend say politicians no kra no edi sika ko agriculture okay. And farming. Echire say sika wo ho. Eti ade ne yentimi ma sa emrantie yi emabuni yen so masene ne afu muram na omumwaye. Ba doko nyini say ye youth no dodo na no mumpeku adwuma no. It's because obi apeso kwa haide obreni ho. Me wakwala bi. Owo level 200 cc. Wonim say wodua potatoes santum export. Wow. Level 200 students. Because for the first time on the bachelor me the yellow potato. Okay. I was say a high demand in Europe. Specifically Ukraine. So what I say? They can turn that into flour. Okay. So the opportunities are there. A young boy. Me kwaba me jinka to me ba ye beto aso. Me ba to Dr. Prof ma unsa o peso kasa. Ma me nkomra na ma bo no 1 minute 1 minute. 1 minute 1 minute na fe. Sani me the time ne ma na omo de aka ho nsem nti no ma ye ntwa ye ho emra ye ba ye bekwa akɔhye auditor general report a wo de ba na kidney ho nsensem a eni ekunipa nipa dodo enya kwade nya mpanyifo enya ye bedi mu komo me basisia. Uguswa ekame ho na watwi dwumadie na wo shaha eye Adom TV esanso ye live wo Asempa 94.7 Adom TV sunie na ye ko na yakɔhwa pomde ho nsem na yaka ni nyina ene se betodwa na watwi ye be na wiye na no so kwa Santemantima Regional Security Council no omako nipa bi tonto se efre bi Mandara Sukudai ya eno no eye cocktail ya nipa bi omo dia frafra na omo so no ma ehohora koma ho na nipa bi nom na ehwehwemufo a wo KNUST pharmacology department no aye ehwehwemu na ade na omo nom se ehohora koma ho no se wo hwede eye kwan fa so a enane plastic ye take away pack bia ebeje onsem enkura omo de sa cocktail ni ma wo nyina no do shred nu na emo ni nyina awuwu
na eno na Professor Cynthia Amani omo ena wo pharmacology department o KNUST omo hwehwe mu omo ye wie no omo ne nsɛmtwɛfo kasa ye videos wo ho a wo bɛhwɛ sɛdia concussion no enna ne niema na ye nom penyifo nso amia te sɛ ene wo hwɛ Ghana ye dodo nipa be 90% ena wo chronic kidney anya sinto a omo nyina eda efidie so ye hwɛ wemra.
We used rats for this experiment, and we gave different doses from low to medium and then high doses of the product to the group of rats in each cage, and within 24 hours all the rats died.
The dead rats exhibited some uneasiness a few seconds after taking the concoction, which also melted plastic takeaway bowls.
Preliminary discovered that the product contains organic solvent like acetone, zinc chloride, and ethanol. Just to give a fair idea to the layman, acetone is usually found in the nail polish that the women use for the acrylic nails, so we don't take it in. Then zinc chloride is also corrosive in terms of organic solvents and other things. So right on surface value, this is not something that should be consumed. It is corrosive, and it will cause GI irritation and can result in serious damage to the liver and the kidneys. So to learn that people are consuming this is usually it's a great concern to us. Some of these things take time, like chronic toxicity studies. You should do at least 1 to 3 months. And to be sure of what is actually happening, because as I said, we will take out the organs and then do further biochemical tests, measure the liver enzymes, and look at all the cells.
What has been given to a rodent in less than 24 hours died. You don't know who are consuming it, but they are Ghanaians. And the most interesting aspect is that those selling it, when you tell them to drink it, they will not. Even if you force them, they are not going to drink it. And it has been in the system for many years. When I was young, I've seen them selling it in town. So we know what is happening now. Our health issues, internal organs, our kidney, the liver, and other organs as far as the health issues are concerned. So it means we have to rise up.
Mpanyifo emienu a o share wo mo no ba ko Dr. Professor Mrs. Cynthia Amani Dankwa o pharmacology department e KNUST na panyin ba ko a ka ho no ye Alhaji Nje Abdallah Umar ono Okwasante Mantiba National Security Coordinator no o ye na bedi akire to mo na mo koye hwehwe mo machi nipa nan yo mo tonton ne ma mo keka bom de ye sadie na emu komo na ye bedi no mehwase wo Professor Titus Bayo ho esan se ono no oye medical doctor osanso ye pharmacologist nti de ye kan nyina no ye ne field a niema ya keka bom ye se ba ko bi kra acrylic ye ni sa ye ade na wa acrylic mu se ano den no ni nyina bi wo cocktail mu a enkrofo enom doc dia banie
make say me ti asem na I don't know maybe I mean chasing. It's very 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 unfortunate. Let me say Ghana hano say be ofa poison cry na onya di edin bi to so a nkofo benom. Ena nkofo nom a omo ndwen embisa say ade we den na eya amame. Obi koto ade a say bi yenye education to the level say obehwe say ade we FDA stick abo ho. And I say FDA approve it. Ne here say yeah no. I could understand clearly my colleague professor no
yeah.
You see no my no yeah acute toxicological studies. The acute phase or the and one the immediate reaction. The long term chronic toxicity no yeah no. And that one You have to give the, and Omuye stage, and I read a bit about it. They gave very low dose, gave medium dose, gave high dose. Not just say any amount of aduwe will be nominal. There is some toxicity, acute toxicity, long-term toxicity in the year. Now, then the baba Emma wa obi aye bibi say now ye no. Ena
Tom say yetime wo hura akoma ne ho.
Na eba ne say na hura akoma ho. Won Ghana ya ya ne tie nkofo a fa bibi say onuma de na hwe akoma na che say hura akoma. Enti o share even some of your alcoholic beverages na nkofo ye this spirit no mo de nadwa ahyemu na nye den no mo de all sort of things ahyem because omo gide say the more na obenum na ebe hyewo no na che say ye bibi e na ama o many a adewe a hyew because it contain acetone no is a spirit the lowest form of it a methylated spirit IUCB
e kro bibi twa wa ye de fast no
good nubi another form of it na nail polish remover enye na mo de polish na
kasa yeah for fast no remover na dissolve no
na dissolve no adine mo na dissolve no enti wo no ma ba omis ebehyo ene ne nkire se wo hro akoma na ben wakoma mpo na ebedu akoma na e de poison na ekọ wakoma wo
just wonu ma anye se nam obo na ehyewo no ka koma no
ye local language no ebi omo na mo titwi ni ye mo moaye
na mo esophagus
no moaye ewo medical mu because ye wo boso ene wakoma ye fa na se nyina e baako but enye baako
nti oboso no da nchen akoma no so hye ne ba bi kura
se bi nipa akoma ehye hase
prof even kura no
wo akoma ne ketekete set se nipa face
pato ade no kura na enko oboso o enam the track
minimum no ne aduane famu no
drobe na
enam kokomo se enti ade ne show saa ko ra oyemu a oyefuna kasa is somewhere here enti saa ebebe no saa ko si ebe ko do oyem na acid ne ne ma oyem no afra ebia it may neutralize it may make it worse you nim what it will do but that initial feeling na wonya no it doesn't in any way mean say e wo horo akoma and do akoma kra because answer na ebe tumi fi wo minimum efi oyemu akọ wakoma ho o kidney ana o brebo ho no ebe wura o moja mo ansa na moja e de akọ sa eho no mu na che say poison e wo mu toxins e wo mu no e na ekọ and that is ebi na eku emoayi a instantly and because human being may handle it a bit differently enti ebia enkun prekope so ubenum na higher dream and some of these things ain't na ene we share the profile of enema bit to say kidney diseases that Ghana ha is very different from the rest of the world. Kidney diseases that Ghana ha is affecting a lot of middle-aged people. While in other places obibonya diabetes, hypertension ebia 20 years 30 years and sana amano kidney problem but Ghana ha no ubehu young person 35 or the dialysis so 40 or the dialysis so 20 something or the dialysis so ubekwa kwhwe no then ediba ebi yesa nroya ye num yi men tena ha enka se bibiduro bia ye bad ye we bibiduro a ya hwehwem ewo scientific Mampon Center for Scientific Research apase ebi akọ FDA me apase omo as food supplement ebibiduro bia eye correct ya pass no should have a dose a wonim say ye num ne say na aye safe unumbro saa ewo nsunsuaso nti ye ma wo saa direction now there must be a problem unum ebibiduro a yem emfa scientific process bia mu a ye careful
say nra obinam ka otik ka mu na wo to na mo dwom na wo to
abiro obi adia danse na untimi yemfa nipa danse nya asemo hwe institutions a yatua womka no ma ye research independent research o ma pass ade no wafa and because you are linking it to the kidney issues no make us say the leading causes of kidney problems were Ghana ha no hypertension
mojabroso
esiche yare
na
painkillers and call for enom by heart. Painkiller, normal painkiller ya prescribe so betimi anom no obi wo ho a de bi obeye adwuma pon bi age so ko we bi me mpese mebo ndodin but there were normal painkillers ye tonton para obi beko every day obi we para obi we brufen those painkillers ye no say e was safety level a wo fa eboa wo fa bros a e won sunso so wo a otie mi wo ye mechanic wo ye fitter wo ye laborer upon ejuma bia this all we APC para ana bibi ansa na wakoda no hweye
o se o kidney
ko ni nyina kidney wo se oyifi mu hypertension enkofo bebre wo Ghana enkanka emema omo nchekom BP da obitimi bone bo so kase me
nibi
me ko hospital mpoda na da obeko hospital ne do ko mochi eno so nye ema because of nyensen and now say they are likely to interface with the health system into a buy be checking the BP near home but confirm brain am undiagnosed hypertension e kosra na say wo brebo and na say wo kidney obehunu na oda dialysis and in Ghana hano when your kidney failure to a lot of people is equal to a death sentence because dialysis no obeye 2 to 3 times a week
e ka wom
you can craft on dimini ejuma bio because obekwa dance for 4 hours obe pie no wa bre 3 days in a week kunye ejuma one be for ejuma obe ejuma e be 2 days be it's a big thing intimacy people should screen na me fason ka say government has a few policies ye dey boa first ubekaya the elsewhere administration started free dialysis dialysis on the NHIS. This government has come to continue and it's very commendable. Say you better dialysis no so to help people, but we must prevent a lot of people from getting the kidney problem.
Prof, the na make ho asem kire wo na wo say de plastic ni tutu wo say enane no we na nipa nom ko ne yem say e ko hohoro akoma ho
e hyewa wo say e hohoro akoma
kire say plastic ni nyina enane no
so and na
enti say na kwachi say the wochi ama no e wo yem ho no
Ghana for you bro
say abana we enti say the nam minimum no
enti sana hyew we wo minimum ho no
o so binuma no sabi nkofo no munsa na ehyew no mabọ makoma wo ho but this is very 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 dangerous and Mecca say what we are seeing here, Mecca say, first thing, I'll praise the national security and name Kofuna Omuye way, but it brings a bigger systemic problem into the picture. FDA for way, more post-market surveillance and what fa.
A prof mo tonton yi so e say Niger bochi fo ya ebubu mo rekita kita bag ni no mo ton sa ni ma yi.
Na say mo ye no ponu. Onko hu drugstore.
Dabi.
Ena oba sometimes omukra phone no moto phone na we ka ho or ton phone case na we ka ho to be ben wa abochi me wo bibi kaka ope na won bisa ho say e ya de pa ade na ye mfa nsidwa ma hu ne de abrel ne de ma youth na nkofo enom and the burden that this is bringing into I want to call on the FDA to stand up. They should set up and go into the community. They need to be resourced and check where unko who drugstore because any license is not a kosher drugstore. So we must check with the people. Second, the police must play a role. Then traditional authorities, we are assemblyman, we are one put them way koswa. Try and bring it to the attention of the security agencies. Now, unkofuna moton who the way you chrome bekum Ghana for. Now yeji near no. And final one, the responsibility must go to the Ghanaian.
Wona wo kotoa
no. Me pacho bibi say enhoro wakoma. Ehoro de na ehoro ne de akoma ochi. Say bia wo pese wo siesie wo funu ansa na ya wewu a na obetimi ayesa because we entimi enhoro wakoma. It is going to cause more harm than good. And then you we pay so all unlicensed herbal concoctions no. Let's be very careful. I will appeal to every single person. Let's be careful. And this thing, they will not even go and advertise it or any TV and radio. Because when them say, "Omuni FDA approval, omuni ba."
Na doc, muna moja manyofo. Abanya ba abanko muni yeshamo ebano ya pomodin ho nsemo a government in failing hasoman.
Men say government are failing. You see, here some level of public education. There is a bit of responsibility a woni pananka saso. And the government also wo ne dia e wo say oye. The government is trying, and I mentioned it. Successive government have tried, and every government comes to do its best about this. If you look at the dialysis here, it's been continuous. They started, we are continuing. We realized beyond the dialysis, we have to do things like kidney transplant, cancer care, then we say, let's bring Ghana Medical Trust. Near here to beat my son Kofasin, na yetimi abwa with those things. But the final responsibility on Ankran.
Okay.
You must be conscious of what you are taking in.
But when you know what you
no more to protect your kidneys. Nasa nyama we no mano enkofom. Esiche yare we obi a wojin so bebre emfa na agro. Ko check if you say then na ekoso. Obi so me de menum so bi an imagine so menum so bi an imagine so. Something could be going wrong. And yes, Haneti, Udana, sorry 6 times I just saw. And you're normal. Something may be going wrong. My end check it. You want, then we can treat it. Because in yes, if the disease burden is high, government be able to try. You can't fix it. This year, government has voted 34.7 billion Ghana cedis to the health sector alone. But it can't solve all the problems. So I was saying, yeah, boy. No mun so mun use my platform media. Let's educate people.
Yeah, they go so na ye can go. Media ya na such issues. No me fa no personal.
It's very important.
Say ye ni papa mo de ho asem na ye kan.
Obehunu na wadan fo bi. Onia bi.
Yes.
Na make ene obi frame me say manya kidney failure. In my mind, I'm a machine. But me make us an baby and me more book and more cabin. Make us say, let's all be vigilant. Young citizens no be a man in naho. Don't take anything that is unlicensed, that is not proved. Because only my somebody be bro. Who so be ye be report it. Na young share. FDA for one conform call around air surveillance. Talk to somebody. No say I do way is not licensed and call for air no. That is what I would say.
Now yeah, me call ahomaso di nkomotew. Ansa no National Health Insurance Scheme no.
Yes.
Obi bisa se eye adwuma yie se me yare ko adura mehia ye de amamia. De na beba se obi be kogina kwanche anaso obi kogina baby se okopa adura bi ano mama no ho ato.
You see, health seeking behavior and difficult to tell. Health insurance ni adwuma sen obi wo onje hospital draw ndi.
Okay.
Obi pay bibi draw. Obi nso beko. But health insurance is getting well. They are paying now promptly into facilities need use it. Okay. But there's something they have to stop. Co-pay no. Because people call a no or go to a draw. Na kase we and cover for jiwe. Aha. Into omo increase tariffs no. Na say go for jaisa nema na. Ebema more people are you see insurance. But Ankre must take responsibility.
Me da say. Afia safo a dietitian afia Martin. Afia Martin. On mute, mama, why? On mute. Na yenkasa.
Now, man.
Ayo. Me da se afia ye we no enye tintin bi asa. E de na wo say ye de ka kidney ho asem. De na wo say ye de na eni say ye de a ebebo ye kidney ho ban amayen.
Okay. The ye ba start with the end kwan say ye di. Who so na affect your kidneys in another way around. The medical boss of processed food. And then I had now you have more sodium. Any other preservatives I can't want. If you are system. This month you're working day and per se you have more for adwuma mo ye ne some processed foods be edin wo se be anko ye se ye go me ni ma but mostly the best can say aduane aya sha obo odina no pa odina ni se any moment within the day dia no processed food aya dey a ope So all those things, because of the high sodium content, the kidney what say a day, in 24 hours, excreting maybe sodium 200 milligram. Processed food don't quite na yakotoni tinima e 500 milligram of sodium. It is you see a new film that means your kidneys another extra 200 milligram. Yes, I get the empty film. It is the more continuously now you go to take all those processed foods. Other way around, then it can affect the kidney.
Okay.
And I have some food. And I can. I say younger sugar-sweetened beverages. Sugar-sweetened beverages, so you're mostly almost obesity, any insulin resistance. Because the more now drinks I share more sugar content, the warm preservatives, additives, emulsifiers. Some of them, almost drinks that they are bringing it out, not just, especially with those that they call it fruit juices. You've also noticed that those fruit juices, they are not just fruit juices, it's color. They add color to the fruit juice. Okay. It is you take a plain paper, for those sugar-sweetened beverages, you could see the color content, as they are saying, some of the natural color, you could see the artificial color no more.
Okay.
In terms of your consuming, twice. Especially, let's go to our market women. Also, if you are not yet in our market, one who see you, but they chema, now done the call. And so you have to say they be our market 5 times in a week, and they be a chema. That means you are taking 5 times in a week. So the other way around, we go say, a quite kidney in the past years, because we are bombarded on earth more toxic stuff, the kidney is in years maybe. I remember refined carbohydrates. You can refine carbohydrates. Almost at times, almost so. Instead, you are not and take a deal in feeling. And really say this idea, who are diabetes with that? Or those carbohydrates contain a lot of fiber. Can be a dianina ye dino, and conquer fans to soy and by young those refined carbohydrates, we go in more for it. It's also a risk factor of develop chronic kidney disease. I remember high protein that. What the moment you are diagnosing so or diabetes, I said the American carbohydrates all the more protein. We are not saying it's protein here, but all the stages of chronic kidney disease, obia one protein limit the moment you are diagnosed with a kidney injury, protein content
okay.
The moment you are diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, other dialysis, protein content and for sustainable, you got dialysis, the treatment that we are going through now, affects your kidneys, affect your kidneys, and conquer to say muscle loss.
Okay.
Or should dialysis so obey anemic and malnutrition. And so after the dialysis near your baby, you're more high protein. The entire just normal kidney disease. Yeah, more mundi protein baby and say protein and cassa ye didn't be bra and product of protein echo increase your nitrogenous waste products during protein metabolism. It's a those nitrogenous waste and free your body from doing some nimpy. Say, can you kidney down what they say and yet, then that means protein content where you do and be should decrease.
Mate, if you are me, your brain is your veggie bread na enkuboya to us to say ye ha na say radio no na ye ne adofo ache. If you are for a dietitian now, Tenekano, Crobia.
I know I'm unfair to us, but you're a sir because some of these discussions, I was saying, Baha, Umaya Kwanya near to me, can some select. Now we know I'm expert.
It's time now, woman, Casa, Crobia.
Maybe only doctor, Mufabe 15 minutes.
And they're very necessary. So, no,
but we are here for political discussions. We'll see about the county
topic, Nikitano, kidney, topics, the man, kidney, come
on. Me say, oh my dog, dog for about medical issues. It's okay, but I'm just suggesting, say, Maybe we'll put special time for some of this discussion.
Aka 1 minute. Yes, you.
And I mean, Kasa.
Kasa. Yes, you.
And then I cannot. You don't want me to.
Can't afford you, Kasa.
1 minute. Then I'm a I mean, some people are watching. I mean, Makasa.
Also, I'm 2 minutes.
They have 2 minutes when they can.
2%.
So if I don't have to make a comment on this issue, I will reserve my commentary on it. But the farmer, I mean,
Dr. Beyo Wadaroma. Ye ka mamemra Dr. Tutubwa in ho. Ye ka kidney ho asem ene mu nkomodie de bia yete ha. Ya ka MPPNDC say ya galamse kunyin so ya say bibia say gusu kunyen akoye MPPNDC. Baby ya beduni.
Abraham said edu baby I say ya nkasa nso nipa ye fa ye nkrabia ne ya pomuden de hye yensem. Na yehuni se ya sedie se wo se ye nkwa ho adwuma so ho enti emse nipa ade ba ko a yennim ye duane die de koyemu so ho enye de free mu ba nemum de koyemu enti emse ade ya no mo YouTube so se wonam enkranadwum agbogboloshi okanshi no na asefo ahun se nkrofo soso ebim kura ye de hye bottle mu ti se malifo yi
yeah
na oba no wabu no kakra
sa no mu bu no
de ama no wano
no mo no
ye wonuani bi a me I think say me a bit of a science background from O levels na asefo na me me research into some of these things abena enoma bi o ha ye ton no wodwemu a se unya ntoboase na wo ye nhwemu kakra ni se of onum edu ba bi unse omoye aduane bi omode nantwie no fusuo na
I to say wagashi na
ye come up omoye wagashi ba ko bi nso omode gu bottle mu sei no ma asa de no ma bi agugu hu
Burkina. Okay, Burkina.
Nomne na asifo no so you say omode natural one pa no omode nantwie no fusuo na ye nantwie no fusuo no ye twe a go through process am say dokwa ha e was a go through a certain process ansana ababa ye papa manipa no because oti anye ne se nantwie no yare bi a nantwie yare e ka nipa ne kondin so but enkrofo she da twene saa nom de aba begu tuam nom de ama enkrofo no
yes mo
anya adwuma ne yese no ba no kra ne yeka so ati ase edru ba bi no na eno so koso
me man enkrofo TB
yes ubenya tuberculosis so edru ba bi kura no ne yese kidney sensem kura no enso a report ho but abena me de me hu ne yese ye duane die no eyo haw na kwabrane abono nsia nonso na fufuo si wanim o se me de me pede eposim na wudi bi ye exercise bi ani don hwere ba ko achi no akoda so ahu we increase your level of sugar
okay
and adredidie abana enye
okay
so ahu aduane a ye di a haban enhye da nim abana no so omunyu emi say enoma bi wo ho a e wose esesa no beyond that exercises eboa at least we dey wuntimi kura no memene da na akwase da bia won hye da nko ba bia no nanti umpatamu won se tete no ye maame no ye papa apart from say no mko afumu a eye kwantenten no mo hye da gibre wadidi awie no ho me kakra na be after 20-30 minutes na fe wo chini agentia ni nyina ye apomuden so enti ye hwe sa no man ye duane die emu yie ye hwe yensu ayenum emu yie ye hwe ye friend is saying exercises nso eyie yetimi ye sa no ma we ya em se ebeboa ye kwan bebre so ama sa no ma bi se no yate so.
Me da se krobia mami ntiu.
Odey.
Me na discuss.
Krobia so kasa o.
Na me ntiu ya na person e no.
And I have na on person o beka. Na kasa na mi ntiu we.
Because I say, but then it's fine. Me, my issue has to do with institutional and systemic failure. Because me prof nyina no. Sometimes young politicians here can I know most of these agencies now, they do away, they run away. They are free, you be accountable. But when OSHA, an act establishing Food and Drugs Authority, the Public Health Act 2012, Act 851, it clearly places some responsibilities on them. But I mean, of all the responsibilities, a number of them, about 19 of them, near critical to me, the point 15 and point 16. The point 15 says they should test all FDA regulated products to ensure conformance to all relevant standards. And two, another one also talks about the 16, talks about public education. The question is, maybe to the last time I might be in TV, I was FDA cry advert me. But the veteran, these issues near the question president, near the question minister. Meanwhile, the CEO of FDA to Oshe the power dia associate honorable to the pay.
Yes,
the PRO officer or FDA obekono ya man the condition of service e be a minister bisika. I'm telling you. So some of these public servants, politicians I mean most at times we are not able to hold them accountable. Because this is a state agency, clearly they have the mandate to protect many in so a benuma was by your mind so. And say when maybe I could be a shisha. The way I Ghana for my ba one manantia consume shisha or my muhano. O kono kwa na ne twimu siru piefu ni huni mu a. I because say be ye boku see and all of this has medical implications or issues. It affects our lungs, it affects our kidneys near there. O can say obi to say we are say o market o. But to what end? Say we be make sikana ade na wo ton. I mean adverse health implications on the people. It's an expert as a doctor. I mean, because I know in the field, I will be to have a lot of public education. But I mean, the end say, Abna, let's hold FDA accountable. Ghana Standard Authority, Food and Drugs Authority. This is their mandate, and we must mention them. Yes. So FDA CEO, Chief Executive, na who hit TV na adiwe somebody will say, oh, you're done with drugstore. You don't know what drugstore and anything. What is their policy framework? It's a public education. Don't we? I want to name say, "Gawo for any Nije for any amount of Tosadi." The FDA officials they know security services, national security, NACO, National Narcotic Control Board. NACO. Me I mean lawyer Chumberema. How about the home or but I think it's about time maybe many normal or expand on tentacle. Some of these things they will bring it under control. Okay. Because we are not safe. Yeah. And what it means is that me Juma, me tax ayetin. Sa Mahama Keo, health insurance, taxpayers. You see, can you refuse uncle for you? It will maybe. Maybe or no so bet me a victim. So it's something we must condemn. We are not also the politics. Politics. I think the institutions must be up and doing. Why are they? Mudi Kasa. Professor Bayuti, ye can in no, any pado draw best of 4 million. I can say, Omonia kidney, ya dear, a dialysis so as some man, dear, na ye bit to me, I have was a phone. Na yet to me, see, and no be mecahum.
So I may say, yen starting fee near Bessiano, Nama a bimbecahu. Near Mecca, and then say, everybody should try and check yourself. We are paying 25 years and above. At least visit the hospital and check your BP, check your sugar. 40 years and above as Bema dear. You should do your annual labs, including prostate. Now check it. But I also know there's a policy in fact, aspect of it was being discussed. Your primary care. Okay. There's always been a primary care in this country where, if you remember, there was some time in Siansa we were talking about people being checked on their birthday. The government is trying to formalize that into what we are calling the free primary health care. And the concept is that every Ghanaian or Ghana should be able to go for screening. So that you have health insurance in for screening. omutwema oyare ansa na yatwa.
Yeah.
So we think that we should go to the screening na yehu prevention rather than na health promotion and cost more and all can by the public health act. Some people are charged to do all of this. And in fact, because we may not have time to talk about the other issues, a lot of Nema Ekosu Ghana Han, the technocrats and bureaucrats are the people we should be holding responsible. And they know that you can always prepare the politician nicely and hang him. On our thing, you talked about the corruption that has taken place, which you may never be able to get a time. But if you look at it, so Yebema will be invoice, Yachia Kadida. Now, what's I prepare another invoice? One that prepares her invoice, no.
Okay.
One they sign it, one they approve it. But at the end of the day, you do have minister be no war. So that one. Then I don't know. My last thing I'll say is this recruitment scam. Just let me make my last. If I don't get any time. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. No, me.
I will just need 1 minute.
1 minute in the end because
there are lessons. There are lessons to learn.
111.
There are lessons to learn. Yes, dog can the online recruitment poses challenge.
Concluding on that. I think politicians should also be guided.
Yeah, that's it. Wadaroma, Yadu Ebesia Waha. Now what you Jumadie, now see, hi, Adom TV Asempa 94.7 penny family, no Musia, Dr. Benatu Boyne, political marketer, Professor Titus Bayo, or your MP, Lambusi constituency, and George Krobia Sante, a deputy communications officer, NPP, communications director, MPP, and a security analyst, someone an appear, dear Majesto, and Abena Pokua, when near, and Opemada was a cell jebre. Esheme. Now what you say the best STB, ya crown.